Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome. It is the new year and we have new episodes. This is episode 32. I'll show you who we have a new guest today on this episode and the new year. We're excited. 32. Can you believe it? Number 32 is here. Let me go ahead and play the intro and we will be back with you guys with our special guest. I always like to keep it as a secret until you see who it is. See ya. Show number 32.
Alejandra.
All right, you guys got to see who our special guest is, and we already have somebody in the audience. Before I do that, I want to show you what is the temperature today. It is freezing here, and I hope this doesn't freeze up. And let's just show you real quick. It is very cold in the Phoenix area. Most of you probably don't even know it gets this cold here, right? 52 degrees, 52 degrees. Yes, and those of you who are not in the US, that's about 10 Celsius. 10 Celsius. So very temperature, very cold, clear skies, but beautiful. Come and visit us here. Okay, let's go to bring our guest all the way from Texas, Alejandra. Welcome to the stage. Good
Hi,
afternoon,
hello.
because it is 12:02. Thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Omar, for having me.
And how are you this morning or this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Like I said, I stayed up last night, yesterday, too long. I'm not a morning person, but I'm happy to be here and just share more about what I'm doing and who I am.
Awesome. If we had started 4 minutes ago, it would have been morning for you, but now it just turned afternoon. You're
Afternoon.
to the
Yeah.
noontime now. You're from AM to PM. We're still AM here in Arizona. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, as always, the wonderful the flowers is here, and she's at the door. We open the door. She somehow comes in like the first in the line. We just open the door and she's coming in. So big hello from her, who will be she will be actually in the semifinals that will be airing soon. The second one for the Zoom party, and then we will see when it airs uh, who will be in the finals, and she will be in that show most likely. That's maybe a clue there. Awesome. So if you're ready or
Awesome.
not, go ahead. Do you have a comment? Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Sorry.
Awesome. No worries. All right. Let me go ahead and do we really know Alejandra? All right. And I put your last name there. So are you ready to get to know yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
More
Let's
than
see.
that, right?
Let's see. As our last guest, Ross was saying, which you are a friend of him, he was like, "Do I even know myself?" That's what he said.
Exactly.
Because so he was a great guest, and then we have a even greater guest for this season. Okay, what's your favorite board game? Right, if you would get one day and say, "I want to play a board game," what would you play? What would Alejandro?
Monopoly.
Monopoly. Why?
Yes.
Why Monopoly?
I just feel like it's strategic. I like strategy. I like to, say, oh, I bought this and I sold this. So I think it gives you a little bit of insight of how to strategically purchase things like assets in that game.
Oh wow, that's interesting. When was the last time you played Monopoly?
Woo! It's been probably like 4 years. I haven't had time to do that, but I think it's awesome. Like you learn a lot from just playing the game, and you learn people's competitive levels as well. You're like, whoa, I didn't think that person was that competitive, but it's good.
Oh yeah, amazing. I like more of like the word games or more of the math oriented logic games,
Yeah.
or checkers kind of. I kind of found Monopoly too complicated. I don't know why. Maybe the rules or something like that.
Yes.
Which it was like, okay, you have these hotels and then you have these houses, and
Yes.
then you go past go. Do not collect 200. That was kind of fun. And you have all these cash, these
Yes.
money,
And I
and I
love
was like,
that.
how do you?
I love that because you play with cash and then you're trying to buy it and there's rules to it. And that's really how it is in the real world. There's rules to investing or and buying stuff.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, we need to go back to board games. We need to go back to these
Yes.
games back in the 90s when we were. I was born in the 80s, and so like now, unfortunately, all the kids are into all these phones, and there needs to be a limit, and we need to go back to the good old days, as they call them, right? The good old days. You
Yes.
always hear about the old days and all that, but when
Everything
you
became
go,
digitalized. Like
yeah,
everything just became digitalized. So it's kind of hard to just,
I
just play
know.
on the phone.
I know we become so addicted to these things. So
Yeah.
okay, let's go on to the next question. You passed that one.
Awesome.
Right. And if you guys please go ahead and comment to us. We love your comments. Okay. What is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten? What is the
Huh.
weirdest thing you ever eaten? And I just want to remind you, this show is called Do We Really Know Them from LinkedIn, and it's a fun show. So it's all about having fun with our guests. I give you 5 seconds to think about it. Did you have an answer for me?
Crickets. I think crickets. In Mexico, the part of Mexico, they eat crickets. And I think,
Seriously.
yeah, I think one of my cousins came from Mexico and was like, hey, you have to try this dish. And I'm like, all right. And I saw weird stuff on it. And
Oh
I,
wow.
I ate it. I was like, why does it taste like earthy? It just tasted funny. So
Yeah.
it was crickets. I was like, oh my God, never again.
Oh wow! How, like, is there restaurants for that, or do they
Yes.
eat it like how do they serve it? I'm interested.
They somehow like I don't know how do you say like dry them out? What's that word where you just dry them out? Like
Yeah, sun
you
dried.
dry
I
them
think
out.
sun dried, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
cook them and they bake them and they have different dishes in Mexico where they eat like certain crickets, certain
Oh.
ants, but they say they're good for you.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that too. There's some nutrition in it, but interesting. I wonder if there's any restaurants like where are we gonna go today? To the cricket restaurant?
Yeah. It's like what the heck? Like, are we gonna go eat like crickets? Like, yeah, it's just
Like,
it was weird. I'm not gonna lie, it tasted funky. I didn't like it. I just not my thing.
that the word crickets is interesting too because it can be used for anything. Like if it's
Yes.
quiet,
There
crickets.
you go,
Crickets are
Leslie. High
crickets, so you can use
protein.
that. That's all. And then as Leslie says, they're high in protein. Yep, they are high. All bugs are, I think, high in protein. So
Yeah, but it's definitely the weirdest thing I've ever ate in my life. Like that was like the pinnacle of like weird.
yeah. I also want to say hello to Mariana. She's in East Europe. I have hosted some programs for them and maybe doing a Zoom party show soon when I get the time. They're all about negotiations and partnering with people all over the world. They're a wonderful group. She works hand in hand with another guy who's from Peru, who was also on the program. I think Castello, if I can remember right. He's also a wonderful guy. Robinson Castello. And they work together in a very fabulous team. Hopefully to meet them as well. Wonderful. If you haven't connected with Mariana, fabulous lady, very friendly, very outgoing, and definitely. I actually, when I was in Europe, I hosted a show for them. I was like in the same time zone, but they're all over the world. So
Awesome.
definitely awesome. Okay, let's move on. The questions are eager for your answer. Okay,
Yes.
okay, let's go on here. Okay. Okay, it is a cold winter morning, and I would. How ironic, because these questions were written a long time ago, but
Right.
it's cold in winter right now. What would you do on a morning? And you're a morning person. What do you normally, when do you wake up normally? What time do you wake up, and what would you do on a cold winter morning?
So first of all, I'm not a morning person. I think
You're
that's
not a
another.
morning person.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not a morning person. But if I do have to wake up early, I'll wake up no earlier than like 9 o'clock in the morning. Like if you wake me up anytime before that, I don't answer. It has to be like an emergency. Like even with
Oh,
my
wow.
family, I tell them do not call me before 9 a.m. because I will wake up in a bad mood and yell at everybody. But that's just how I am, because I'm at night. But what I would do, just wake up and literally just get on my laptop and either watch meditation, like or even motivation videos to kind of get me amped up.
Oh wow, okay. I'm a morning person. Like I would wake up 5 or 6 and I'll be fine. But then
Yeah.
by the time at the end of the day, you're like dragging your feet kind of thing.
Yes.
But I like the peace and the quiet. You know, now especially you wake up before even the sun is up. It's nice and
Yeah, you get
you
some
get
quiet.
started. Yeah, exactly. So nine is the on a good day is the earliest you might wake up, right? That's a good day.
Yeah. But
Uh,
most of the time, I don't wake up earlier than 7 a.m. Like it really has to be either if I have a meeting, important client, or something. Like I will make that time. But other than that, everything is really past 10 a.m.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one here. Question, I believe 4. Okay. If I would go back to college, I would study what would you go back and study if you had the choice? Tomorrow, somebody tells you you have a scholarship and you go
Woo,
to
free.
what would you study? Yeah,
Yeah.
what would you study?
I think accounting, because you need that everywhere now. Accounting, finance, anything in that, even law, but more accounting, because it's really hard to learn numbers sometimes when you're doing anything.
Accounting. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's good. And you said mentioned about because of numbers and all that.
Yes, it's kind of it's when you're building something, you have to have an accountant as well, but sometimes you have to learn it regardless because you want to see what you're doing good at when it comes to sales.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's important. Accounting and numbers and counting is always good, kind of thing.
Even law, to be honest. I think if I had the time, I would become a lawyer.
Lawyer. Oh, be a law lawyer. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also a good profession. Exactly. Wow. But what do you have? What's your degree in now? Do you have a
I
degree
don't
right?
have. I always
You
tell people I never finished school. I literally now I'm continuing my education, but
yeah.
I'm a full entrepreneur. Like I finished my prerequisites. I was about to transfer to university, but I said I'm not going to get into debt for an MBA. Like that's
Yeah.
dumb. So
Uh-huh.
because I didn't get in debt, I was able to invest in real estate, and I was able to retire by the time I was 29. So I did
Amazing.
it different. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's amazing. We get to your story later. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Kinga, I don't know if you know her. She's a good friend of
Bye.
mine who was on the show as well. I don't know what number she was, but we'll find out. You're 32, so basically your age is 32, so that's why we did 32.
Yes. That's
Okay.
awesome.
You want to tell us also what would you go to? Oh, they're already telling me here. Kinga, she wants to go to school to law as well. Law is
It
good too. But
is.
what would you study, Kinga, if you had a choice? If you go back, I know she's an engineer. She did mechanical engineering, so she would go. But if you would go back and change your degree, like I would, I did engineering also. So I would probably go into journalism or something like that. I actually tried to apply. And then let's go to Leslie, literature and teach at a university. Wow, that's what she would do. I think you would be good at that, Leslie, at being a professor, or maybe you can even do Shakespeare, maybe.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's interesting. And you can be one of those, and you can just do, I'd have to see. Maybe I will do a category all about Shakespeare. Let's see. I don't know if I want to actually give out those clues, but yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she did. Oh, you did industrial engineering, not mechanical. That's right. Awesome. Yep. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. Okay. I can relate to this cartoon character. These are random questions, so it's anything, and they change. So, what are you a cartoon person?
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch cartoons growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did. So, I mean, if I could choose one, to be honest, I was into Hey Arnold for a long time.
Oh, that was a good show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Hey Arnold. I love that he's like so chill. And then Harold, is it Harold or Gerald? No, it's Gerald. His
Gerald,
cousin
exactly. Yeah.
Gerald,
His
and
friend, his best friend.
yeah, and I
Gerald.
love that they live in inner city New York, and they
Yeah.
would have so many adventures. Like that's the life I would like to live if I was a kid. Like I can relate to Hey Arnold.
Oh wow, amazing. Yeah. And why can you relate to him? Because a lot of times we grow up with cartoons and stuff like that, and sometimes some of them before cartoons were different. They're in the 60s or in the 50s,
Yeah,
or the 40s, or even the 80s where I grew up. But why do you relate to him more? Because you grew up in New York, or you've been there, or what do you? How do you relate to him?
I just feel like because they had real life scenarios, like they had like real life scenarios. There were kids growing up in the city. I grew up in inner city. I never lived in suburbs, and I will never live in suburbs. I don't like suburbs at all. I like living in inner city and just having adventure of that. You know what I mean? Like you get more experience living in inner city, and that's why I can relate to Hey Arnold.
Oh no, I felt the same way too. No, I agree with you because that show felt realistic, humanistic, and then the grandfather there, the grandparents were there.
Yes.
And, we always wanted to see where the parents are, right? And
Yeah, we
they made
always
that
wanted to
show,
find
they
out.
did a
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, what happened to his parents, and that was
Yeah.
kind of an interesting uh, program. So Kinga would be
Bugs
Bugs
Bunny.
Bunny
That's awesome.
relates to Bugs Bunny. Yeah, Bugs Bunny was an interesting character. Awesome. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Uh, yeah, let's go on to the next question. Okay. Okay. A hidden talent I have is what do you
Shoot.
have? Can
I
you
don't.
reveal any hidden talents to us now?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I know how to play the saxophone. I played saxophone for a long time, so that I really love that. That's
The
pretty much
saxophone.
it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's awesome. When did you start learning that?
And when I was in middle school, I mean, I picked it up very fast, and people were surprised how fast I picked it up. So I think that's when you realize you're a natural at, an instrument. But that's really my hidden talent. I think I have more, but I use all my talents. I don't even know where they're hidden. You know, it's like I put them all to work. So I like doing so many things. I like talking about paranormal stuff. So I like know a lot of stuff about paranormal and spirituality. But other than that, I think I really love like the saxophone.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And then Leslie Flowers would be Judy Jetson. She
Oh
had
yeah,
Rosie the robot to clean her house. That's the
yes.
wife of what's his name? What's the guy?
Ah, I forgot the name.
George.
George. That's what it is.
And
Yeah.
the theme song is that. And then they made the movie later, and yeah, the cartoons were more interesting back then. You know,
Yeah, they
although
were.
what was the company called? Was it Hanna Barbera? No, maybe it
I
was Hanna
think
Barbera, something like that. They were,
something like
but yeah, then they made one time the Flintstones meets them. They made a show where they connected together. The
yeah. Well, did you
Flintstones.
hear that Cartoon Network closed down?
I think so. Yeah, I heard about that. They somebody else bought it or they changed it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's sad though. That's like the 90s era, 90s 2000 era.
Exactly. What was your favorite cartoon from the Cartoon Network? Did you have one?
I think it was Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay.
I love Courage the Cowardly Dog, the Powerpuff Girls. I mean, this is like hardcore 2000s, like the
Yeah,
Powerpuff
exactly.
Girls. Yeah, it was interesting. Like everything kind of changed.
The 90s and that. Now I don't really watch in terms of that TV anymore. It's more of YouTube. Everybody's now into YouTubing, right?
Yes.
Because YouTube now has more documentaries, has more real stuff, real
Yes.
news, and stuff like that. And so that makes it more interesting. People have now the power to do whatever they want in terms of having a show like this. Everybody has their own control, which is nicer, you know. And I've
Yes.
always had this kind of dream of doing the show. And so it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, documentaries are a good thing too. Awesome. All right. The questions, the comments, they're coming in like that. Okay. So me, George, and then also Leslie saying, the company. That's the company you work for.
Oh,
Wow.
okay,
And
okay.
George and Jane, the kids. The kids were Judy, and that's right, they were. They were. Leslie Flowers, why are you actually revealing the clues for the next Jeopardy? You know, you're gonna get a. Okay, let's go on to the next one. She's revealing all the answers. Okay, if I would travel to a country, where would it be? If you had the opportunity and the passport and some cash, where would you go? Where would you
A-
travel and why?
Africa.
Africa. Why there?
Because I don't know why recently I've been fascinated with ancient Egypt.
Oh
And I
wow.
want to go visit, the
Uh huh.
pyramids.
Uh
As soon
huh.
as I get my passport, I'm flying there.
Oh wow. Okay.
You've been there, no? Haven't you been there?
I have never been there. No.
Oh, okay. I thought you have.
I I have a couple of friends that I've met online and may be interested to see them, but I've never been there. I don't really have too much interest. The reason is I hear there's so much pollution there, so
Yes.
much traffic, and I'm like, do I really want to go there? I like to go to a nice, peaceful place where the food is good. I'm sure the food is good there. But like I was just in Turkey back in October and in Bosnia as well. The
Yes.
part of Turkey I was in wasn't too crowded. It was in the I want to say I need a map, but I think it's in the west side, right aboard on the Asian side. So it meets Asia, meets Europe, and so that portion where my friend was, who picked me up, it was nice. There wasn't too much of a crowd where I was, but if you go to the inner city and other places, I think it was more. Plus, maybe it's not summertime; it wasn't as crowded.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
it
why.
has
So
to do with the
yeah,
time too.
exactly, exactly. Have you met any connections from Egypt
I
online?
mean, not yet, but I need to learn different languages because I am in a field where I have to be multi-language, I don't know how to say it. So I need to learn it. But I've been learning a lot of Portuguese, a lot of people from Portugal or even Brazil, that have
Oh,
been
wow.
contacting me. I want to learn French too. French is like I'm there. I'm almost there.
Wow. What percent would you say are you in French?
Probably like 15 to 20%.
You just started. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, but like I learned it a little bit in high school, but it went away. If you don't practice it, it goes away.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, if you practice, you need to practice and keep practicing.
Yeah.
You'll remember it, but you need to have somebody to talk to, and
Yes.
it really depends. You know, I've had some friends or relatives who were actually living in states 34 years, but they still speak the language. You know, it
Oh wow,
really
yeah.
depends. And then they married with somebody else who's not from that part of
Country.
the world. Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
who's like a different culture, but then they still kept the language. So if you had a good upbringing and a good master in terms of the language, you won't forget it, right? If you had
Exactly.
spoken for and then anybody can learn. I know somebody who I think in his 30s he picked up a language he's fluent, or some people know 9 languages, and I'm like, how do you know? 9 languages, and there is different techniques, different techniques, different tricks to do it. And I think it's all of a mental game thing. You
It
got to
is.
figure out how to do this. It's all about memorizing because
Yes.
I tried also learning our native language, the Bosnian, to be more fluent in it.
Exactly.
And some of it isn't too bad. Yeah. So
How
yeah.
many languages do you speak?
Well, I know the Bosnian language, mainly English, a little bit of Arabic, but mainly English. So I can
Okay.
understand Bosnian and Arabic a little bit, but
Yeah.
not fluently. Um, but you need practice. But yeah, I've
Yeah.
been here since I was age 4 in America. So
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, here's another guy who's actually in Egypt that I forgot about. Doesn't even mention Islam Goda. I'm not sure if you've seen him.
No.
He's also from Egypt, and I might bring him on the show as well. He's a fabulous guy. We met a couple of times, and I don't know. Do you know this connection? Have
No,
you
but
heard?
I need to.
Definitely. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think 2023 was a big year in LinkedIn when I noticed a lot of people were doing these shows, and I was like, wow, people
Yes.
are doing shows, and I connected with them. Okay, let's continue here. Next question. Okay, what is your favorite social media, and why do you think humans love social media that much?
Well, my
Why are we
favorite.
addicted to it? Like, what do you think?
My favorite one is TikTok, but it's about to end in a week.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok anymore. Yeah, I deactivated that and deactivated Instagram. So it's just these two. So go
Those
ahead,
only two.
explain. Yeah.
Yeah, I love TikTok. I just think it's more personable. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. No one's gonna judge you. The algorithm is easier to catch on to people. Like they'll see your stuff more. Instagram it's different now. Like you have to post certain ways to the algorithm to push you. Facebook is okay. It's the general public. LinkedIn is the best, obviously. But I like to be on everything. And I think TikTok is my top one because of the fact that you can talk about anything and you won't be judged or anything like that.
Oh no, yeah, I see that. My problem was just wasting time and putting all these social media out there platform. If you don't
Yeah,
have a full-time job and you're just your mind will be just so addicted to, "Oh, did I post it? Did I post it?" So I want to
exactly.
stick to LinkedIn and then maybe Facebook and maybe slowly transition. But it's also good to have connections from around.
The world.
I have almost 2,500 on LinkedIn, so that
Wow.
might grow. But they're genuine, real people to
Exactly.
actually connect with, and you have these connections. And in fact, when I went, one of the people I met here actually booked an Airbnb for me and him, and I never met in person. So, but you have these connections that you actually realize who they are, you know. And then even one of
Exactly.
them is Leslie Flowers. She's a fabulous person when you talk to her, and then you integrate with these people and other people as well, like Kinga. Just you have this connection. Everybody has their own trait that you help. They help you out. You help each other with, and then you do these things. Compared to where Facebook, it's more of people you know or don't know, but you don't interact with them that much. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like silly or goofy. But for business oriented like me and you, it's like this is the perfect place for LinkedIn kind of thing. And then
And
yeah,
on Facebook is your neighbors, your family you've known for a long time. And to
yeah.
be honest, this is just an honest thing. I ended up blocking a lot of people from that I knew on because once you start being an entrepreneur and actually trying to sell products, you got to get rid of the people that were like they're not going to understand you. You know, you want to get your right audience in front of you.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And then I get some people who are just bored and they just want to chat and chit chat, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't have time for much for that. It's like, why are you? There's nothing going on. I met you. I saw you. You're not person. But why are you keep every week messaging me? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Maybe
They're
every month,
bombarding you, Omar.
yeah. But it's like, and then I'll try to be polite. I don't block people. I don't. I hate blocking people. Like it would be like if I'm super angry at something, and then I like, but I maybe I'll block one person in my life, but usually they block me. I absolutely hate that. I like it's like my pet peeve. It's like what
Yeah,
the
you don't want to be mean, but sometimes they just say the one thing where you're like, "That's it. I gotta block you. I'm sorry.
It's like, yeah,
See you
even
later."
people annoying me. That one day looks like King agrees with us.
Yes, it's like, bye. Okay, see you later.
But I'm like at this point, I'm like, I don't care. I have other people who are like you and Kinga and other people that I know who are super fabulous people, and it's like, who cares? That one person, it's like he's a fly on my shoulder.
Yeah.
He's just like that. It's like it doesn't matter much. Okay, good. Okay, let's go on to the next question. They're about to throw us off because the Leslie Flowers show is
Oh, that's
coming
right.
next.
Women.
Okay, if I would invent an item to help mankind, what would it be? What would it be? And this is a question for everybody. 31 people before you answer this question, and the show changed a bit here and there. I gave you some time to think about it. Go.
Okay, I think it'll be a time machine. To be honest,
Time machine. Okay.
Yes, or a time tesseract. Something. I mean, it gets kind of crazy. I talk about crazy things like that, but I feel
Yeah.
like we should be able to control going back and forth within time. I think we should even be like in another planet, like from different planets. Like I don't know. I just feel like that's what we need. We can solve a lot of problems doing that.
No, no, I love that. Yeah, exactly. So if you could go back in time, would be a follow up question. Where would you go? Where would you go back in time to? And I agree with that. Before you answer that, though, let's say, for example, I've been reading about Abraham Lincoln. I'm
Yes.
fascinated about his story. That you can go back and say that the assassination of him, or the president kind of thing, that kind of thing. But then it's interesting. But then also, if you believe in God, or if you believe in
Yeah.
that, believe in predestiny and that kind of thing, it's not possible. But in the next life, we have maybe that option. But if you would go back in time, where would you go, and what would you do and save?
I'm impressed with Babylon.
Lebanon.
That's like the first to me. It's like, whoa, I would love to see what Babylon was like. I mean, I read it in the Bible. I read in a lot of like research documentaries. Those
Yeah.
people were smart. Like the Babylonians were smart. They were ahead of their time. They're probably ahead even from this society right now. I
Oh
think
wow,
Babylon would be a good place to visit.
amazing, amazing. Why the Babylonians compared to like the Greeks or the Romans? What made them more fascinating?
Because according to the scriptures that I've read, like they're supposedly the oldest civilization, if I'm correct.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so it's like you want to go where the first people were. Like you want to go and see what that was like.
That is fascinating. Yeah, yeah. And I've heard about them. That's very interesting.
Yes. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes like I don't know if you believe in past lives. I feel like I can probably maybe think that I had a past life out there because I'm just so drawn to certain areas.
Oh yeah. So what I feel about that, because our souls could be linked to a certain culture. Maybe
Yes.
historically, that's where your family's from originally. It could be like that.
Yes. And you know what's weird? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, no, I was saying that that's how I felt when I was Europe too. Even
Yeah,
though,
you're like, "Whoa."
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny because I was born in Mexico, but I don't have any interest in my own culture. I like it, but it's just I've always been intrigued by you know the Arab world.
Interesting. Oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting. I think I saw a post about that you posted.
Yes.
That was
Like some
very.
people are like, "Are you mixed? Is there?" And it's like, "No, I wish I was." To be honest, that would have been more interesting. But I was born in Mexico.
So where do you guys? Can you trace back? Like, do you guys originally from South America or from Spain? Do you have that
Spain.
lineage?
I
Spain.
have Spain, a Spaniard in my family. My first last name is Spaniard directly
Uh
from
huh.
Spain, and my second last name is directly from revolutionary people in Mexico. So
Oh
I have
wow.
both of them, and I have family they're politicians in Mexico. So there's importance in my blood. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I never really got along with that. I just always wanted to explore outside of it.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
love being Mexican. I mean, no doubt about it. I think it's a great culture, great food. We're
Yeah.
hard workers and all of that. Sorry. Oh, hi, King. We're over here. What is
There
this
is.
talk
No, no, no.
show?
So yeah, you're right. I mean, they are very humble people, Mexicans. I mean, from the people I've worked with, I never had any issues with them. They're very nice people, and all
Yes.
of that. And then we also another interesting thing. I do also have some government or royalty kind of thing back
Yes.
300 years ago or 100 years ago, even
Wow.
where in that the Balkans region, there's like a high class family, and they were part of that, and they were all pretty good. People like them kind of thing. And in that part of the world, I think in the 1800s, from my mom's side, and so they had lands as well, and they prospered. So we have that in there. But like I was saying, that's interesting. Yeah. So you might have some roots in there that you're drawn to that,
Yes.
or some kind of a dream, or your soul, or there's a connection with that. Because I feel that's why the term is soulmate, right? It's
Exactly.
something that so we believe in our culture that originally the souls were all together before, and then when you meet somebody. And you have this connection with somebody, either it's a soulmate or a workmate or somebody coworker, and then you have this connection with them. Your souls originally were meant to meet, and they have this ability to be able to connect together. It could be with a male friend or a female friend or anybody like that. But and that's why you might wonder why my neighbor, I talk to them, and I don't have this connection. It's a hi yes. But others, you're talking about your life,
Yes.
you're talking about this. That's where that soul connection comes from, and
Yes.
it's interesting because when I read about scriptures and read about religious, and then we have these kind of things in our teachings as well, which it's fascinates me. I like that stuff.
I love it, and I believe Islam, right?
Exactly,
I
exactly.
love it. I love the prayers. I listen to almost every prayer that's on TikTok with Islam. I love it. I
Oh
just think
wow.
it's very spiritual, and because I'm Catholic, but like I really relate to that culture and that religion.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. There's a lot of things in common. You know, a lot of people always like to say that we have this or we have this, and they always put the differences. But then why don't we put them aside and just say, you
There's
know,
commonalities.
yeah, exactly. Jesus said this, Muhammad said this, or Buddha said this, and then put the values together and become like one humanitarian, but not like not interfaith, but do actions to work together to help
Exactly.
humanity, that kind of thing. That's the thing. Yeah. A lot of people just sit there and just do interfaith every week and talk and talk and talk, but no action. It's like, what's the point of
Exactly.
that when you guys get to learn from each other and get to know who you are and become more friends that way? That way, there's no point, you know?
Exactly. No, but I love that Islam is very spiritual and it's just very motivation. I love it.
Oh no, absolutely appreciate that. Okay, and we can talk about that more and more. And
Yeah.
okay, now this is the last thing here, last few minutes. Tell us about you, Alejandra, and what do you do, and more about this is your segment in about 5 minutes or so. And what do you do, and how do you help people?
Okay, so wrapping up the segment, my name is Alejandra. I have a startup, ACMD Digital, which I help other companies and entrepreneurs in sales, marketing, advertising. I also have a real estate investments that I started when I was in my 20s. Now I'm going to be 34, so it's been a while already. So I love investing. I love talking about business, self-development, and how to make others, grow their business and just help them grow.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I thought you speak more if you can. So
Oh,
that's
sorry. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. Yeah, so
no,
the way we help people is just now I'm forming my team. We hope to get to 100 teammates by the end of 2026, where we can market online 24/7 for companies. Get them sales, get them noticed. Get them in the media. I could even get people into Forbes magazine, into all these outlets that help you. They really do help you. A lot of people that are starting companies, I tell them you want to start getting in the media because that's going to give you better presentation and people are going to know you're taking your company seriously.
oh, beautiful, awesome. And when did you get into that? When did you?
Actually, this past year.
Oh, it's
This
recent. Oh,
past
wow.
year. Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. And that's great. So people, where can people find you? You have a link if people want to connect with you. You can send me put the link in the private chat. I can show them to people here. And then that's
Yes.
my channel as well. You can just go to YouTube, put in Do We Really Know Them or put live Omar the number two. The link is over here. So you can connect, subscribe, and you can watch all these wonderful people who are on the show here. And I will send you upload the link here for Alejandra's site. This is the website, basically, correct?
Yes, that's where you can connect with everything. I have everything plugged in. Like I said, I think when you have a company or you have a book out, like there's a lot of people I've had on the podcast who have been on Good Morning America, like big shows with
Uh-huh.
millions and millions of viewers. And it's just crazy how they contacted me and said, I heard your podcast. Can I be on? So it's kind of cool getting noticed around, different areas.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're saying people that who work with you were on these shows. Good
No,
morning,
no, no.
America.
Like the people that contact me listen to my podcast in New York and LA, all over
Oh,
the
wow.
world, and they contact me and they say, I want to talk about business, entrepreneur. And I look them up, and they're big people from Wall Street that have been in big shows like Good Morning America. They've been like really big segments.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you're also on LinkedIn as well.
Yes.
The show is on there, so you can just search your name on there, or yeah, you can just put in Alejandra and then how do you say your last name?
Avalos Carranza.
So
It's,
you
yeah.
have two last names, right?
Yes, my mom's and my dad's. That's how it is in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. I know in Spanish culture, some men take the mom's name, right? Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate you being on the program. We hit the 34-minute mark. Any last minute work, Alejandra, you can find her at ACMG Digital, and also you can Google her on LinkedIn. If you cannot Google her or not Google her, but search her on LinkedIn, her name. If you cannot do that, you can message me. You can bother me anytime. I like people. And
Everything's on my website too.
yeah. Oh, say that again.
Yeah, everything's on my website as well.
Yeah, exactly. So is LinkedIn on the website too, right?
I believe so. I,
Yeah.
I, I think way at the bottom you'll find the link.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So anyway, you can find her,
Yeah.
and it's appreciate you being on this program. Give me your last sentence or so of your conclusion here, and I appreciate you being on the program.
Thank you, Omar, for inviting me, and thank you everyone who watched. I know it's Saturday, Sunday.
Perfect. All right, awesome. Stay in the back room. I'm gonna just play the back one, and we'll be with you in a second.
Awesome.